Dr. Lejeme, who expressed satisfaction with the impressive turnout of APC women from the various wards in Oshimili South, said the town hall meeting was convened to sensitize women on the importance of registering through e-registration platform and safeguarding their voter cards to enable them exercise their civic rights. She appealed to agri party faithful to put past grievances behind them and unite in support of party leadership at all levels, stressing that unity remained the strength of the party. The convener emphasized the need for women to educate their children who have attained voting age on the importance of registering, describing the voters card as a tool of empowerment and a voice in governance. Dr. Lejeme disclosed that the word-to-word e-registration exercise has commenced and encouraged those who had misplaced their voters card or experienced challenges with their registration to take advantage of the opportunity to update their details and assure the women of sustained engagement through periodic meetings and urged female political appointees to continue mobilizing and supporting women at the grassroots.
In this political era, women are the ones that come out more to vote. So we must sensitize them. It's very important that they get themselves registered and have their voters card. In fact, the next meeting will be calling, all of them will come with their voters cards.
Earlier in her remarks, the member representing Oshimili South in the State House of Assembly, Honorable Bridget Anyafulu, commended Dr. Lejeme for organizing what she described as a unique and a timely gathering of women across the local government area. She lauded Dr. Ngozi Chukwuka for her consistent philanthropic support and commitment to the welfare and empowerment of women in Oshimili South. Honorable Anyafulu said the meeting had further strengthened solidarity among women in the party and reaffirmed their collective resolve to remain active participants in the political process. Other speakers at the ceremony, including the wife of the Oshimili South APC chairman, Mrs. Maranatha Okolo, former chairperson of 28th Local Government Council, Mrs. Faith Majimite, among others, pledged their support to ensure that women in Oshimili South remain visible and influential in party activities. Henry Onogwa reporting.
Honorable Esoze, who spoke with newsmen shortly after the exercise, commended party members in Oshimili North for their maturity and discipline throughout the process. He noted that the impressive turnout underscored members' confidence in the party's leadership and vision for sustainable development.
This is a new dawn in Oshimili North politics. We're happy because for a long time the persons you see here today, we've been on the opposite direction. But under the leadership of our governor and the president, we have all come together in one party, the APC. And what it means is that in Oshimili North, opposition has been completely wiped out from this local government.
The council chairman urged newly elected officials to see their emergence as a call to greater service, stressing that loyalty, inclusiveness and teamwork will be vital as a party prepared for future political activities.
We are happy. APC as a political party is strong, well-rooted in Oshimili North. And with the peaceful conduct of the world congresses, that are now connected to the local government congress that is being done today, that's is a testimony of what to come. And what to come is that Oshimili North is going to be very peaceful politically, it's going to be very peaceful economically, it's going to be very peaceful so that we can be able to deliver the democracy more and more for our people.
The member representing Oshimili North in the State House of Assembly, Honorable Frank Esenwa, and other party members reaffirmed their commitment to consolidate the gains recorded during the Congress and strengthen party structures across all wards in the area.
APC is well organized in this local government. They are good to go. Come take this on forward.
Okay, it's one united APC in Oshimiri North local government. Because united will stand and divided we definitely will fall. But we never fall in Oshimiri North. As from today onwards, APC Oshimiri North is one. So and peace and unity. So peace and unity is what we're asking God to please grant us in Oshimiri North local government. From today onwards, one united APC in Oshimiri North local government.
The Congress was monitored by a committee assigned to oversee the process and ensure compliance with the party's constitution and electoral guidelines.
Alright, thank you so much for staying tuned. You know that when we talk about congresses, sometimes during such a political era, you hear a lot of things like even one or two buzzwords here and there. You hear of people fighting at the end of the day, but generally this particular local government Congress party, All Progressives Congress, has been judged peaceful. They say it's orderly, well coordinated in most of the councils, and some of the things that we also heard is that the candidates that emerged, the executives that emerged, were consensus candidates. That means it means that the party APC in Delta State is actually doing well. Yeah, against what we've been hearing about internal party factions and all of that. But because of these local government elections, most people are saying that the APC in Delta State are actually out for business. Yes, they're actually coordinated. And then this election goes to show that it goes to reflect that APC, there's unity in the party. So what we can say is congratulations. The elections is just around the corner. We are already in the election year, so everyone is just hoping and waiting for the best. One thing that is in the mind of everyone, I can assure you, is that whoever is coming out to say, oh, I want to be the one who will lead, who will take charge of the affairs during this election that is coming up, let that person have the mind of the people. You know, let that person not be coming with a motive of trying to divide his own national cake. Let me have my own share, because some persons will just say, let me have my own share. I've been waiting. I've been on the queue. You know, they said wait for your turn. Now it's my turn, so I have to eat it. No, please. If you're coming out now to vie for any position, please bear in mind that the masses are going through a lot right now. The economy is not smiling. I want to use Asaba as a point of example. Let me use Asaba as an example. Look at the house rent in Asaba. I mean, a couple came to me and was telling me her experience when she came to Delta State, hoping that, okay, let me just get a room. By the time they told her how much a room costs in Asaba, she was like, what? Asaba? I said, yeah, that you have it. House rent in Asaba is choking, like he choke. House rent. So people are going through a lot. Now, if you look at the income, the monthly income, you'll be wondering how you even survive. Those who are employed, those who are self-employed, those who are still not engaged, looking for one or two things to do, it is not easy on anyone. So if you are vying for any position, please just ensure you have the good of the people, the interests of the masses at heart. Be sure to have a blueprint of what you want to do for the people, irrespective of the party that you decide to emerge under. Make sure that you have the good intention to bring the needed developments, needed changes. They will bring down the prices of house rent, prices of food, and all of that. Go to the streets and see what people are going through. People don't even eat up to 3 square meals a day. I'm not joking. This is the reality. You know, sometimes when people sit in the AC, in their houses, in the cars, they tend to forget the humble beginnings. They tend to forget what others are going through, and they try to relate to the masses based on their own experience. But I think you need to find out a way to wear the shoe of the masses so that you better understand what people are going through. So in this political era, a lot of things are beginning to heat up in the polity, talking about political activities, gearing up for the elections, both the state and the federal level. The advice still remains. Be sure, in fact, the parties ensure that the candidates you are bringing is not just because you're a godfather, you just compete anymore. Please, bear the interests of the masses at heart. Away from the APC Congress now, let me tell you something that is also very important. Governor Sheriff Oborowori, the governor of Delta State, received another award recently, and this one is an International Sustainable Leadership Action Award for Excellence in Governance, Justice, Peace, and Development. Now, someone will say, this guy has been collecting awards. Come and see what the man is doing. I mean, he's being recognized. In fact, we'll talk more on this right after we have played the story. So let's just play back that story. I will be right back. Please stay tuned.
Presenting the award, President Center for Convention on Democratic Integrity, Comrade Olufemi Adu, said the body is a non-profit organization focused on promoting sustainable development, democratic process, peace and security, with emphasis on citizens' involvement in governance, organizing advocacy to address global challenges. He said Governor Sheriff Oborowori was selected for the award after the rigorous process of verification and assessment carried out by international experts in governance with focus on reforms, transformation, and institutional accountability. Comrade Adu said the nomination of Governor Sheriff Oborowori demonstrated the governor's efforts to strengthen public institutions, enhance citizen security, deepen community-centered conflict resolution mechanism, and widened access to justice and peace across the state. According to him, the governor's record satisfied goals number 16 of the Sustainable Development Goals and the high standards of integrity, innovation, transparency, and societal impact required of the United Nations Service Award.
Apart from the submission we made, that yes, but it was the same UN that made us that look, Delta State have done something in the area, SDGs 16, have to do with justice, have to do with institution building. That is the area of the anchor. Now, the National Public Service Award is an award anybody can access. Government official can access it, but the process is so cumbersome.
Receiving the award on behalf of the governor, the state deputy governor Sir Monday Oyeme thanked the Center for Convention on Democratic Integrity for honoring the governor with the Distinguished Leadership Action Award. Governor Oborowori affirmed that his administration was anchored on due process, accountability, and the unwavering belief that peace and justice were the bedrocks of true development. As without them, progress was nothing more than a mirage. The governor said the recognition of his administration's commitment to sustainable development goals number 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions had been reaffirmed that progress cannot endure without strong institutions, the rule of law, and equity that sustains peace.
To be recognized by an institution so firmly committed to advancing democratic value and safeguarding integrity is not just a personal honor. It is a validation of the path we have chosen in governance. A path anchored in due process, accountability, and the unwavering belief that peace and justice are the bedrock of true development. Without them, progress is nothing more than a mirage.
In an interview, Commissioners for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information, Mr. Charles Aniago, Finance, Okemon Fidelis Tilije, and Professor Oluyemisi Akinyemi attributed the award to the governor's exemplary leadership and governance of the state.
This particular award coming from an agency that has relationship with the United Nations is something that we do not take for granted. Not
not only because of the caliber of individuals who are members of this particular organization, but because of the key areas they have identified. When you talk about building institutions and then issues of security, and that speaks to proactive governance. And so when you have a Center for Convention for Democratic Institutions having to recognize you among the many states, you know that it's not one of those awards that fly up and down on account of maybe an individual having to extend one or two things on their own. They meant about taking a look at the projects, procedures, policies and programs of the Bureau-led administration, and they could identify a whole number of improvements in key sectors.
We can confirm that since 2023 till now, the more agenda has been able to transform Delta State to another level of administration and governance in Nigeria. We are so happy. All these awards that are now being bestowed on His Excellency are not by chance. They are proven records of achievement by his administration.
It is not just a local award, it's not just from us, it is international with the counterpart in US and United Nations, and it is a follow-up that we expect from this award.
They said the governor had built strong institutions that have enhanced the growth and development of the state without borrowing funds to implement projects. I am Pere Botu reporting. The governor, represented by his deputy, Sir Mondo Oyeme, said over the past week the Stephen Keshi Stadium, Asaba, and other venues across Delta State have been vibrant with competition, camaraderie, and excellence. He said as host governor, he was proud that Delta State provided the platform for the remarkable gathering of policemen and women from the entire country for the bipolar games. The governor noted that the games have shown that beyond the badge, police officers are men and women of talent, resilience, passion, and guardians of law and order, as well as ambassadors of sporting excellence. He lauded the athletes for their courage, integrity, and sportsmanship, noting that whether they returned home with medals or not, they had earned the admiration of the nation. Governor Obrowori commended the organizers, officials, and volunteers for their tireless efforts made during the games to ensure its success. He said the athletes demonstrated teamwork and commitment which had inspired pride and strengthened unity. Governor Obrowori appreciated the Inspector General of Police, Kaore Egbetokun, for his leadership in sustaining the proud tradition of the games.
Unity strengthens purpose. In excellence demands dedication. Preparation and discipline. You have written your names into the proud history of these games. To those who competed with courage but did not descend the podium, I commend your perseverance. Mistruck as in service, character is revealed not only in winning but in rising again.
Also speaking, the chairman of the first Sports Planning Committee for the 15th edition of the Ghana Police Games by Koga, AIG from Pan Joseph, commended Governor for his sustained relationship with the Nigeria Police Force. He praised the governor's consistent support, adding that his general support for bipolar activities demonstrated his strong determination to build a vibrant and sporting nation.
Over the past week, the city of Asaba has stood as more than just a stage for the Nigerian Police Force's finest athletes. It has been a strategic platform for cultivating professionalism, discipline, and performance-driven excellence. Where new talents have clearly begun to emerge. While the event was not completely without injuries, the incidents were limited and successfully managed, underscoring our commitment to safety and enduring spirit of excellence.
The Bipolar Asaba 2026 Games
concluded with the federal headquarters emerging as overall champions, clinching first position with 238 medals. Lagos followed closely with 236 medals, while Yenagoa secured third place with 114 medals. I am Botu reporting.
Alright, thank you so much for staying tuned. We brought you the report on the award given to Governor Sheriff Oborowori, and that's an International Sustainable Leadership Action Award for Excellence in Governance, Justice, Peace, and Development. Now, this award was presented by the Center for Convention on Democratic Integrity as a follow-up for its nomination for the UN Service Award. Remember that whenever you see an award like this, you know that it has to do with the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG. It's a global recognition connected to leadership and sustainable democratic practice. Now, we know that it entails a lot. When you hear that this man has been packing, let me use the word packing, assistant, of course, so that's his job. He should pay salaries early. That's his job. But we have seen some states that workers are being owed salaries. We've also seen those who are being paid 12 months or 13 months salary, of course. But we see our governor has also been paying salaries to workers as and when due. And that's also something that is very, very commendable. At least the workers will be joyful. He who works will eat, right? They say so. So that's how it works. So he has been doing quite a lot. Let's look also at the peace that we enjoy, relative peace. Of course, there have been issues all around the nation, but you see, Delta State has been relatively peaceful. So the state governor, Governor Sheriff Oborowori, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborowori, has done a lot, and these are words none of us should be surprised when they keep coming, because he has been there. Talked about the area of finance, managing finance in the state. He told us that he has not been borrowing. And if he has not been borrowing, how has he been making up? So everyone was like, wow, he's prudent in managing resources and all of that. So we give it to him. He's a good administrator. He's trying. So congratulations to Governor Sheriff Oborowori on this award. I know it portends a lot. So we are hoping for more, because to me that's a validation of your governor's model, your administrative efforts. So congratulations. We also brought you the report on the bipolar, and that's the 15th biannual Nigeria Police Force Games, bipolar Festival 2026. You saw all of the things that happened during the week. It was a beautiful event. If you were there if you attended any of the events, because it was almost like a week round, so if you attended any of them, you'll be very happy, because you need to see what these people are doing. In Delta State, there has been a lot of improvements. We hear a lot of stories about how crimes are being tackled in the state. Today they are busting this area, tomorrow they are busting this criminal hideout and all of that. They are recovering this item just like that, from place to place, from community to community, from city to city. Here in Delta State, there has been progress in fighting crime and criminality. So I give it to the Delta State Police Command. They are doing great job. But when we commend you, we are not commending you so that you can rest on your arms. No, we are saying do more. Do more. We are commending you for what you have done, and respect that you do more. Alright, so I remember also that AIG Kayode Wetoko was there, but now he has been replaced after he resigned, and then someone else has taken over. That's Olatunji Disu has taken over as the AIG. So what do we say? Congratulations to the new person who has come on board. There are a lot of expectations from Nigerians. See, this job you're doing, is a great job, yeah? You have to sit up. What is happening in our country, talking about crime drugs and criminality is not a joke. People are afraid of traveling. Before, travel used to be fun. You know, you want to move, you want to go from here to here, you want to go out. You can't even attend events. You hear stories of people who went to attend wedding and from there they were kidnapped. People who went to bury their dead, from there they did not come back. You know, a lot of stories. Journeys that you know they are necessary, you have to embark on. When you think about how you're going to move on the road, you start developing high blood pressure because the roads are no longer safe. So please, this job you have now, talking about our new AIG, Olatunji Disu, it's a big task ahead of you and expectations are very high. Nigerians have been calling, asking, pleading, demanding, however verb you want to use to describe it, asking that these things should be done, like there should be security, we should prioritize security in the country. It's affecting a lot of things, it's affecting the economy though, it's affecting everything, you know. So please, AIG, this seat you're sitting, I want to call it a hard seat. You have to sit up and ensure that the people will be happy that someone like you is sitting on the seat. Please do things that we'll be proud of. Curb the insecurity in our country because the rate is flying on top of the roof. Well, away from that now, I'll go over to our PD. He's going to play a report that is very, very important to us too. I will tell you about this report when we come back. Please stay tuned.
Speaking at the ceremony, Senator Tinubu expressed appreciation to the Shekiri nation for the warm honor bestowed on her and called on the people to continue to maintain peaceful coexistence with all ethnic nationalities. She stressed that unity remains the bedrock for sustainable growth and development in the Niger Delta region. The First Lady commended the Olu of Warri for conferring on her one of the kingdom's most revered chieftaincy titles and pledged to continue championing developmental initiatives in Warri and Delta State at large. She also assured Nigerians that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu remains steadfast in delivering all-round development across the country under the Renewed Hope agenda.
It is high time I came to Warri Kingdom, at least to come and show my gratitude for the support and also to pay my homage to the land. I am glad of the stock I came from and proud of this culture, and above all, proud of the way you have clothed me today.
In his remarks, Delta State Governor Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori congratulated the President's wife for being a worthy ambassador of the state and assured her of the continued support of Deltas in advancing the Renewed Hope agenda of the federal government. Governor Oborewori highlighted key projects executed by his administration in Warri and East Environ, including the over 20 kilometers Trans-Ode Shekiri Warri Road with 15 bridges, ongoing flyover projects, and other critical infrastructure. He urged Senator Tinubu not to relent in leveraging her pet project to alleviate poverty among the economically disadvantaged and other vulnerable groups in the society.
Let me conclude my remarks by calling on all Deltans living outside the state to emulate Her Excellency example of sacrifice, selflessness, and tenacity of purpose. Nigeria will be a much better place for all of us when service and meeting the needs of others become the focus of those position of authority. Let us be our brothers' keepers as we strive to build a nation where people are free to dream and pursue their visions of success and fulfillment.
Earlier in his address, the Olu of Warri, Ogiame Atuwashi III, said the conferment of the prestigious chieftaincy title was in recognition of Senator Tinubu's exemplary leadership, humility, and love for her roots. He assured her of the unflinching support of the Shekiri people for her and her husband. The monarch further reminded his subjects of the need to uphold peaceful coexistence wherever they reside, emphasizing that no meaningful development could take place in an atmosphere of rancor and acrimony.
We choose to be ready and to do away with old hurts and wounds and give peace a chance based on truth and equity. There is absolutely nothing that we cannot achieve. When the Niger Delta, your mother's people, are united with the Yoruba, your father's people, and the rest of the South follows suit, and even other parts will follow suit.
The president's wife was earlier received at the Warri Airport in Osubi before proceeding to the palace for the civic reception. Ejime Uduime reporting.
Roll me, baby. She said she knows me, I'm a stage. I told her I can be a bobo. She said she wants to be my baby. I'm like, okay, that's what you want, say. Make a girl tell me ain't broke me. Depends how I'm feeling at the time of the day.
Said she want roll, remember. She don't come for the same, She gaslight, she knows what's better. You be cartel like Zella. Me and AJ locked in as brother. Any instrumental is mental.
The Modern Technical College of Manino, as we are commissioning today, will present a flagship investment in technical education by this administration.
How far will you want to go? Yes, I know say my power is special. Take you where you never been before. Asambu Uluwaye, I'm precise Usuache. It's all I want to know every day. We know the tire will be like a bandit.
She said she knows me.
In the last 2.5 years, Governor Sheriff has bagged major national recognitions. An affirmation of what many has described as a result-driven administration. In one word, describe Governor Sheriff Oborowori's leadership style.
Result-oriented, people-centered, visionary leader, compassionate to his people.
It's all encompassing performance.
Outstanding gentleman and administrator, the #1 performing governor in the country.
This year, the momentum continues. On the 12th of February 2026, the Delta State Governor yet again stepped into national spotlight, receiving the prestigious Leadership Award for Governor of the Year. And barely 24 hours later, we're at the commercial capital of the nation, where the very scholarly editors of New Telegraph have been critically analyzed the impact of the Oborowori administration have conferred on him overall Governor of the Year.
My message to the people of Delta is that they should continue to give us that support that they have been giving us.
There you have it. Governor Sheriff is working in oil-rich South Delta State, but the positive sound effect of his policies reverberate not only in the South, but in the East, in the West, and far North. Until next time, I remain Kokome Oko. Bye.
All right, thank you so much for staying tuned. Now that report, I said I was not going to let the cat out of the bag until we have played it, and I know that you understand why. Now, Senator Oluremi Tinubu visited Warri. Now, it was more like a homecoming. You need to see, in fact, that video did not show you everything. You need to see the array of traditional leaders that came in, traditional rulers from different parts of the state. Look at the array of politicians that also graced that event. It was massive, like really massive. And that went to show how the Ishekiris behave, the Ishekiri culture.
They don't say, oh, this one is a woman. No. Ishekiri culture is so strong. They recognize their females, they recognize their males. Wherever they go, they still identify their roots. And this is their maternal, Oluremi's maternal heritage. But still, she went there and she went to identify with her people. And then during that visit, the Olu of Ori, Ogiame Atuwashe III, conferred on her a title. Wow! That title is the Utukbaorishe. I hope I got the pronunciation correct. The Light of God of Wari Kingdom, a symbolic and historic honor. Now, that is to show you how she was received. She was warmly received, and I know she'll be happy when she'll be happy there, and even when she went back, she will go to tell that story. The event included a grand royal reception with cultural gala displays. You saw some of them there, traditional ceremonies, and community admiration. Now, something very important that she said there, I want to highlight on this program. You know, she made public calls for peace, unity, and social harmony. She called on Nigerians that they should embrace unity. Forget about our differences in our culture, in our tribe, in our religion. Set aside these differences and let's come together. Work as one, live as one. Of course, we are different. Even brothers and sisters that live in the same house, they grew in the same house. They also have their differences, but they know how to settle it. Well, you say, okay, that's my blood. Then let's have that same ideology when we are relating with people who are not of the same heritage, would I say, or culture. With us, those who are not of the same background, belief system, those who have different belief system, let's relate with them in that same manner. That was what she was talking about. Remember that she has a program that she has been going around from state to state that's the Renew Hope Initiative, her social outreach program that she has been using to empower women, petty traders. She has done a lot of such programs here in Delta State, and so it is in different parts of the state. So Senator Oluremi Tinubu has been supporting her husband, complimenting the efforts of her husband, and the visit to Delta State, Warri precisely, is also a very good one. The visit signified unity and peace, because that was what she was preaching. She also made us understand the importance of cultural pride. Now, I am not an Ishakiri by tribe, but when I watched those displays, because I watched the program live, I wasn't there, but I watched it live, I was like, wow, Delta State is really, really blessed. If you go to Ishakiri, you go to different places, you will see our cultural heritage, different, but they are so beautiful. So let's try and live as one despite our differences. Well, the implication of the visit, so many. We have political and governance signals. It reinforces the federal support for Delta State's development agenda and strengthens the tie between Abuja and the Niger Delta. Whether you believe it or not, it is true. Politically, that's a go. Like it said, politically. So the visit of Mrs. or Senator Oluremi Tinubu is a very good one, and it portrays something very good for our state. Moving on now, let's bring you another special report about the blue economy. Now, two bodies were inaugurated concerning the blue economy. I will give you details about the blue economy after this report has been played. But you see, when we talk about the blue economy, a lot of things should come to your mind, like the water, like all of that. So when we come back, we'll talk more about the blue economy. Please stay tuned.
Inaugurating both the steering committee and the technical working committee of the Delta State Blue Economy Framework, The state deputy governor, Sir Monday Oyeme, said the committees have been mandated to develop a comprehensive and implementable framework for the state's blue economy in line with the directive of Governor Sheriff Oborewori. The steering committee comprises key ministries and agencies critical to the success of the initiative, including the Ministries of Environment, Transport, Agriculture, Riverine Infrastructure, Housing, Energy, Trade and Investment, Culture and Tourism, as well as the Delta State Internal Revenue Service and the Delta State Investment Development Agency, DIDA. The Technical Working Committee consists of selected directors drawn from the various ministries, departments and agencies tasked with providing expert input and technical guidance for the framework. Sir Monday Oyeme, who chairs the Delta State Blue Economy Framework Committee, emphasized that the selected MDAs played strategic roles in the effective implementation of the policy. He described the blue economy as a vital driver of economic diversification, revenue generation, job creation, and sustainable development in the state.
When you're talking at national of areas where there is viable blue economy, Delta State will be one of them, if not at the forefront.
In his remarks, the Chief Economic Advisor to the state government, Dr. Barigbe, said the framework is aimed at domesticating the national blue economy policy at the state level. He noted that within the South-South region, only Bayelsa State currently operated a Ministry of Blue Economy. Dr. Gbe further disclosed that the Blue Economy Framework Committee operates under the Office of the Deputy Governor to ensure coordination and effective supervision.
But the first step is to come up with a framework that will guide us in achieving that. And therefore, the governor has given some short-term measure approvals, which will lead gradually to setting up a ministry or a directorate, as the case may be.
Commissioners and representatives of relevant agencies also presented brief outlines of their policy directions and proposed contributions towards the development and implementation of the state's blue economic framework. I am Pere Botu reporting.
Like I tell you, very soon electricity for Delta State it go be one of the best for Nigeria.
Stop, you don't start.
Calm down. You get what I don't tell you before when
you don't tell me now. This year 2026 they go complete the DSA roundabout flyover for free. More the watch whether I go happen now.
Sure, why not go happen? This year just a start now. The construction of the DSA roundabout flyover for free is already 98% complete.
You sure?
Yes. Governor Sheriff they drive to modernize urban infrastructure so that it go ease traffic congestion across key metropolitan.
You mean metropolitan corridors?
Yes. You know, say me an English not like this.
What I not go like Governor Sheriff they do well because I know of some communities where they say their expectations, I mean their dreams has become a reality. You will talk something about electricity.
Our governor, Right Honorable Sheriff, he done this set to add 120 megawatts to the national grid.
Oh boy, this one go boost Delta State energy capacity.
Delta State Health Insurance Scheme expanded between 2023 to 2025, becoming Nigeria's largest state health insurance scheme. While Oborewori no go clinch double honors as Governor of the Year 2025.
Governor Oborewori don't remember Kokori Sweet Crude with 12 billion naira road rehabilitation.
I know, 35.32-kilometer road for Ethiopia East local government area.
150 primary healthcare centers under renovation and upgrade across the state.
This road intervention where Governor Sheriff they do so. Now practical demonstration of the Governor Sheriff opportunities for all where they more agenda.
Particularly communities where those suffer neglect for years.
Governor Sheriff they work with the CM.
Brought to you by Delta State Ministry of Information.
Well, thank you for being there. It's Journalist Nest, and I am Eunice Emeazia. We're talking about the blue economy. Now, when we talk about the blue economy, a lot of things come to mind. But you see, the state government understands the importance of diversifying the economy. With all of those things that is happening around the world, it will only be wise for anyone to go ahead and think outside the box. What do you have that you can use to develop your state as a government? What is that resources? What is that potential that you have that you can harness to build your state? These are the things that you should be thinking about, and that's what our governor has talked about and decided to inaugurate these two bodies, the Blue Economy Steering Committee and the Blue Economy Technical Committee. These ones are chaired by the Deputy Governor of the state, talking about Sir Monday Onyeme. What they are going to do is that they are going to look at how they can harness these potentials that we have, develop blueprints on how to go about them, talk about the coastal resources, talk about maritime, talk about riverine. There are a lot of benefits when we talk about the blue economy. In fact, we have not scratched the surface enough, let alone dive deep into the resources that we can have when we harness blue economy. So, are you talking about the aquatic economic potentials? Are you talking about the riverine? Look at the dredging of the River Niger, what it has brought to that area. So there are a lot of things that we can do. The state government has thought it wise to say, oh, let's look at this area. And I know that our fingers are crossed, hoping that the committee that have been set up will do a great job in bringing up all of these things, the potentials, helping, bringing up blueprints on how best we can harness these potentials for the growth, sustainable growth and development of Delta State. Now, moving on from that, let's also bring to you something that is very, very significant. And we're talking about yeah, he said I shouldn't mention that. So he's going to play that report, and when I come back, I will give you details of that report. Please stay tuned.
While not official holiday, communities, religious leaders, and citizens are taking time to reflect on the state of the nation and the role each person can play in building a stronger and more united country. Nigeria has faced a series of challenges in recent times, from political tensions and economic hardships to security concerns and social divisions. The idea behind National Intercession Day is simple, yet profound. It invites every Nigerian to strive for a more peaceful, prosperous, and united nation. From prayers in churches and mosques to local community forums and discussions on civic engagement, the day encourages spiritual reflection and practical action towards national cohesion. The observance reminds us that beyond government policies, the strength of the country lies in unity, shared values, and collective responsibility by coming together in dialogue, prayer, and civic participation. Nigerians are encouraged to build bridges across divides and uphold tolerance and mutual respect. So today, as citizens pause to reflect and pray, the message is clear. Act, engage, and foster understanding in your communities. Small efforts, united across the country, can contribute to a stronger, more peaceful, and united Nigeria.
As a host community, try as much as possible to guide your utterances. No company can be intimidated. The companies are also urged to keep to their social responsibility, the corporate social responsibility. I always say it, keep to it. If you keep to the corporate social responsibility, no host community will hold you ransom.
2.5 years, Governor Sheriff has bagged major national recognitions. An affirmation of what many has described as a result-driven administration. In one word, describe Governor Sheriff Obowori's leadership style.
Result-oriented, people-centered, visionary leader, compassionate to his people. It's all-encompassing performance. Outstanding gentleman and administrator, the #1 performing governor in the country.
This year, the momentum continues. On the 12th of February 2026, the Delta State Governor yet again stepped into national spotlight, receiving the prestigious Leadership Award for Governor of the Year. And barely 24 hours later, we're at the commercial capital of the nation, where the various scholarly editors of New Telegraph have been critically analyzed the impact of the Obowori administration have conferred on him overall Governor of the Year.
My message to the people of Delta is that they should continue to give us that support that they have been giving us.
There you have it. Governor Sheriff is working in oil-rich South Delta State, but the positive sound effect of his policies reverberate not only in the South, but in the East, in the West, and far North. Until next time, I remain Kokome Oko. Bye.
All right, thank you so much for staying tuned. It's Journalist Nest, and I am Eunice Emeazia. Well, our production director, Alex Afodo, have been doing a great job right there. He has been directing properly. And then our cameraman here, Samuel Amechi, thank you so much for what you're doing. If you know what these guys are doing behind the camera right now, you'll be giving them awards, like plenty awards will be coming in right now. So I want to thank you so much for being there. Of course, it's Journalist Net, and we'll be talking about issues that are trending in our state Delta and in Nigeria, our beautiful country. So we just played the report on the Observance Day, the National Intercession Day that is observed every February 25. This is something that civil society organizations actually brought out, and they have been encouraging people to observe that day. Just a day for sober reflection, a day to offer prayers for our country, our states, for our communities. Now, for some persons, when you talk about issues of prayer, they're like, Nigerians, can't pray. You like prayer, Nigeria, you prayed. When you have to work, you're praying. But you see, life has taught us here in Nigeria that we need prayers, you know. You work, yes, but you have to also pray. So that's why they're calling on people to pray. Wherever you are, as you pray for yourself, pray for our nation, pray for our states, pray for our leaders. Even the Bible, the Holy Bible encourages us to do that also. Say, pray for your leaders. Yeah, it's in your Bible. Have you read it? Of course it's there. So pray for yourself, pray for your leaders, pray for your states, pray for the area where you live, pray for the growth, development, peace of that area where you reside. We stay in Nigeria. In all of those things, if you say we should start running, where are we running to? All of these people that have been running away to become refugees in some country and the other, you are seeing what they have been going through since they started running as refugees. Being a refugee in another man's country is not easy, It's not an easy thing. So wherever you are, like here you are in Nigeria, you thank God for the peace, relative peace that you enjoy right now, and pray that God will help to make the peace more sustainable and help to curb this issue of crime and criminality. Give our leaders the idea, the innovative ideas on how best to tackle the issues that are affecting everyone. Talking about insecurity, talking about costs, the economy generally. So there are a lot of things, but we pray for our leaders that they will take the right decisions, make the right policies, and then those who are implementing, because we already know that in Nigeria it's not about policies. If you go out there and find out, you will see that there is law. In fact, laws have been made for almost everything. Remaining the breath of life. Laws have been made for almost everything. But implementation is where the issue is. So those who are in the corridors of power in the area of implementation, those people, they need prayers. We're going to pray for them. So let us pray for our nation. Let us pray for our states. Pray for your communities, even as you pray for yourself and your family. That's the essence of that day, National Intercession Day. All right, moving on, let me also bring you a report about a very important community in Delta State, talking about Onitsha-Olona. Yeah, Onitsha-Olona. There have been a lot of things when it comes to culture, tradition. People say quite a lot, and they are like, which one is this? Which one is that? This thing called Obobi in Onitsha-Olona, where you say this place is Obobi. Then there is a literal meaning to it. Obe means quarter, and Obi means like the head, like the traditional ruler. So when they say Obi means the quarter, the Obi's quarter, the Obi's home, the Obi's village, the Obi's place, you know, that kind of stuff. So so many areas, usually that's what they do whenever there's issue of kinship. They look at those areas. But in Onitsha-Olona, it seems it's quite different, and the people have been, you know, talking about it. In fact, let's play that report. When we return, I'll talk more about culture and tradition in different parts of the state. Please. The need for indigenes of Obobi quarters in Onitsha-Olona to take their rightful place in the community's traditional structure has been stressed. At a meeting held in the community, Nigerian reggae musician Sirin Womume, also known as Candy C, said Obobi, meaning the King's Village, had not played its historic role as seen in other Ezechime clans in Anioma. He traced the change in the production of the Obi to about 1900, alleging that the development altered the traditional system and sidelined Obobi from its central royal position.
Keep the meaning of Obobi.
Other speakers said Obobi traditionally handled key royal rites, including burial and installation of an Obi, presentation of candidates, and other kingship responsibilities. They called for restoration of what they described as the original leadership selection process, claiming earlier government gazettes distorted their customs, while insisting on fairness and recognition of their status.
The agenda, the project, my only advice, unity of purpose. That is the most important thing. Oneness, unity of action. And in unity, fight this fight.
Long overdue. I suggest here what we call an all-inclusive monarchical system. We create other offices to accommodate other houses and agree on what happens in the event that this one is no longer existing. What is the rule of succession?
Where you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family.
So let us take what belongs to us. Obi is for Obobi, and we must take what belongs to us. Whether the devil likes it or not.
The traditional stool of Onitsha-Olona has been disputed for decades. Stakeholders say dialogue and historical clarity are needed to resolve the lingering crisis. Eunice Emeazia reported.
Roll me, baby. She knows me, I'm a stage. I told her I can be a bobo. She said she wants to be my baby. I'm like, okay, that's what you want, say. Yeah, tell me, about me. Depends how I'm feeling at the time of the day. Said she want roll, remember. She don't
confidence, don't confidence. She gaslight, she knows what's better. Keep the cartel like Zella. Me and AJ locked in as brothers. Any instrumental is mental.
The Modern Technical College Omadino, as we are commissioning today, we present a flagship investment in technical education by this administration.
How far will you want to be? No shape in my power, why special? Take you where you never been before. I sound I'm precise, Suachi. You tell I was in her every day. We know the tire, we be like a bandit.
She says she knows me.
In the last 2.5 years, Governor Sheriff has bagged major national recognitions, an affirmation of what many has described as a result-driven administration. In one word, describe Governor Sheriff Oborowori's leadership style.
Result-oriented, people-centered, visionary leader,
compassionate to his people.
It's all-encompassing performance. Outstanding gentleman and administrator, the #1 performing governor in the country.
This year, the momentum continues. On the 12th of February 2026, the Delta State Governor yet again stepped into national spotlight, receiving the prestigious Leadership Award for Governor of the Year. And barely 24 hours later, we're at the commercial capital of the nation, where the very scholarly editors of New Telegraph have been critically analyzed the impact of the Oborowori administration have conferred on him overall Governor of the Year.
My message to the people of Delta is that they should continue to give us that support that they have been giving us.
There you have it. Governor Sheriff is working in oil-rich South Delta State, but the positive sound effect of his policies reverberate not only in the South, but in the East, in the West, and far North. Until next time, I remain Kokome Oko. Bye.
The respondents said it was necessary for citizens to communicate in their local dialect, which is their mother tongue, as it was a means of identity which promotes unity in diversity, adding that parents must raise their children with their dialect to preserve it as English language, which is the country's lingua franca, was already being taught in schools.
Mother tongue is very key to develop the children. At times when you want to deliver a message, it is not by speaking English, but everybody will hear that. So you use your mother tongue.
The mother tongue, like I said earlier, makes for unity, makes for identity. It's a cultural watershed. Makes people to rally around certain things.
Some of the respondents said the multilingual nature of the country posed a limitation on the use of the various languages in the country and even Delta State, but encouraged the government to ensure that 1 or 2 local languages are taught in schools to promote its use.
Because it looks as if when you speak it in a crowd, in public gathering, it looks as if you are left out, you are left behind. So I think that is the limitations.
I think it's okay at least in passing crucial information, especially those ones don't want others to know about the family. It's very important.
The people identified intertribal marriage as another limitation to learning the mother tongue, as in most cases the parents communicate in English and end up not raising their words in their local dialects.
One, learning it. If actually one must speak or know how to speak his mother tongue, both parents should be present in the life of such individual.
That is because maybe mothers, they feel like that English language is more crucial, you know. I think that is the major factor.
When asked if they could speak their mother tongue, some of the respondents affirmed that they could, while others said they could not.
Okay, that is well done.
I'm greeting you people. kakunu me ụtụtụ ọma na-etetego na-anọkwa ọfụma kakola dị na-alahụkwa ọfụma. That means, how are you? Have you wake up? How was your night? I hope all is well.
They stressed that even though English and French were the two official languages in Nigeria, the mother tongue remained a key element in culture preservation.
Nigeria is a multilingual country having over 500 languages. Languages generally could either be acquired or learned. If you did not have the opportunity to acquire it while growing up, do well to learn your language. Isoko wa do. Onyovo me wa do. Awisoko bobi wanyanze majirogene. Indi beyi no. For Delta TV News, I am Esther Oputa reporting.
Pap is a fermented cereal pudding made from maize, sorghum or millet. Its light texture and easy digestibility make it suitable for children, adults and those recovering from illness. Nutritionally, pap provides carbohydrates which serves as a quick source of energy and make it ideal for starting the day. The fermentation process improves digestibility and may support gut health. However, pap on its own is low in protein and some essential nutrients. For this reason, nutrition experts advise pairing it with protein-rich and nutrient-dense foods. Pap is commonly taken with moi moi, a steamed bean pudding rich in plant protein, fiber and essential minerals that support muscle development and help maintain fullness. Another popular option is akara, deep-fried bean cakes that provide protein and fat, while nutritious moderation is encouraged because of the oil content. Pap can also be enjoyed with milk, which adds calcium and protein needed for strong bones and teeth, especially in children. Groundnuts or coconuts are other additions that supply healthy fats and extra energy.
I like to eat with fried plantain. Or if there is still beans, I can add beans. And I like taking the akamu with moi moi or beans or bread. Childbearing has made me to fall in love with pap. And you say must take pap to help you in breastfeeding. So in order for me to take it, I augment it with bread so that I can be able.
When properly prepared and combined with nutritious sides, pap becomes a wholesome and balanced meal suitable for all age groups. Favor Okafor reporting.
All right, thank you so much for being there. It's Journalist Nest today, and we've been talking about things that have to do with culture back to back. You know what is culture? People's way of life, their way of eating, their way of drinking, their way of dressing. In fact, everything, their way of life generally. That's what culture is about. So we have just played you some things that have to do with culture. And my co-host is right here. It's so good to have you, fine lady. And please, greet them, tell them your name, and then let's just go. Let the conversation just begin to flow.
Okay, hi, I'm Esther Oputa.
You know I love this lady. And anytime you call her, she's right there. So we're talking about culture, and this is one area that she loves so much. So she's going to tell us a lot about culture. And thank God she understands Igbo language. When they're talking about Ogbobi, and they say Ogbobi, the king's quarter, what have you known about that thing when you hear Ogbobi in any community in this Anyoma region?
Okay, there's a saying in Anyoma, Okpafa Abrozi Ogbori.
Yeah.
The person that gives name is not a fool.
Say it again.
Okpafa Abrozi Ogbori.
Yeah.
So when you hear a name, you hear a child answering a name.
Yeah.
There is a reason the parent gave that name to the child.
Beautiful.
Then you also hear a community bearing a particular name. If you trace down to their history, their archaeology, you will find out that there's a reason they are giving that name. So when you hear the name Ogbobi, not to be mistaken, it means the quarters or the place of the king. So I think maybe it has to do with the ancestral home where the king has always emanated from. So I think that's what it means. Yes.
Like in this community, they were like, "Oh, this is what it is," and I think records that they gave said from 1900, everything changed due to some, I don't know what actually happened along the line. So right now, the people are saying no. Let what has gone wrong be corrected. Now we saw the popular musician, our own Candy C, talking about Cyril, and he was there and he was speaking his language. He was speaking his language so fluently, because when you see them there in Lagos or all of these places doing all of that, you think that they have forgotten about their culture. But you see, this guy, I was so impressed when I saw him there speaking his language, identifying with his people, attending meetings, community meetings. What does that portend, and what's your word to people out there who do not understand how deep, how important identifying with your roots is?
Okay, you saw the reports on the Mother Tongue Day, International Day for Mother Tongue. You see, language is one of the elements of culture. If you cannot, your language, your dress, your food, they are all elements of culture. They identify a particular people. So you should be able to identify yourself with your people. But unfortunately, some persons grow up not learning their language. You might not blame them. They didn't have the opportunity to acquire it. You know, you could either acquire the language or you learn it. So if you miss that stage, that early stage where you should be able to acquire the language, and you also don't learn it, you wouldn't blame them. Maybe we should blame their parents or blame the society, but it's a call to everyone, to the parents, to everyone, to ensure that their children, their words, learn their language. Anyhow, maybe you want to tell the child, go and get water. You can speak your language. Even if the child doesn't understand, you translate. From time to time, the child will begin to imbibe that language and understand. And it's also a way of you communicating in public when you want to talk to your child and you don't want another person from another tribe to hear. So it's a means of identification. So when you see Candice speaking his language, it's a good thing. No matter how far you are, even if you find yourself overseas, you should be able to teach your children your language so they can mix up with their people when they get home.
And actually, I think that's actually the essence of that celebration, Mother Language Day.
Yes.
Because so many people would have had their languages gone into extinction
if
they had not been, teaching their children.
So many languages have gone into extinction.
Yes, pass them from generation to generation. That's one thing I like about some of these Igbo people across the nation, across the bridge. So most of them, what they do, even when they're outside the country, you see the children, even when they are married to white men or white women, the children come up there speaking the language so fluently. There was one I was watching on social media and I was like, wow. So they have this way of trying to ensure that their children identify with their roots, both in language.
I also watched a prominent Urobo man, can't really place his name. He was teaching his children, he gave birth to them there. He was teaching his children Urobo.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Overseas. And the children were speaking it.
Intentional.
Urobo, they were all, so Isokos, Urobos, Ijos, Ishekiri, don't let these languages in Delta State to go extinction.
At all.
Please, let's teach it to our children. And the Anyomas as well.
Yeah, the Anyomas. Make sure you teach your children. Okay, so don't forget also, we brought you a report on pap. When we talk about culture, it has to do with our food too.
Yes.
Now, the thing I have noticed in many homes, when it comes to pap, there's a way families eat this pap. Maybe probably on Saturdays like this, they just make it, say, oh, today we are taking pap.
And the protein.
And the protein. It could be beans, moi moi, or okpa. Man, okpa.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Have you tasted the real okpa? Not
those ones they miss.
The real one, like the real one that is almost like moi moi. My goodness. If you taste that one, you understand what
the one from Nsoka.
So the food is our culture also. Don't let our food go into extinction. Like you don't mention this okpa. There are some persons who have never tested a particular delicacy, but they don't have this interest to learn new things.
Yes.
And they're like, I've never eaten it before, I don't want to eat it. No.
I went to Nsukka, I schooled in Nsukka, and when I got there, I found out that that was like a staple food.
Yeah.
The major food there, you wake up in the morning from your hostel, you're seeing okpa dioku everywhere, and you're hungry. I say, I've never eaten this thing. I'm a Delta, what will I do? So I tried it. You know, that was my food till I graduated.
Okay.
That was my breakfast. And it was good in my system.
know?
And that was how I learned how to eat okpa. So we should be open to learn new
to
food.
learn new things.
Because when you travel, that might be your survival mode.
Exactly.
That might be your only hope. So what would you do? You have to eat. So.
Just like we're saying, be open to learn new things. Open to learn new things. Dressing.
Yes.
If you go to the north, don't just despise the way they dress and say, try and, spice it up.
And you know the funny thing about culture, it's related to adaptation.
Exactly.
So when you find out that some persons are covering, it might not necessarily be because they like to cover. It might be because of their weather. So they might have imbibed those things from time immemorial. You see them covering. So you yourself, you now go there, you open up your skin and sun will just finish you. So, or when you go overseas, you see people covering. You say, no, in Africa we don't cover. Mama Nako go kill you. So you should learn to, when you get to Rome, you behave like the Romans. That's the saying.
So moving on, actually, there's this report from Oganesiwe where he was commending the Commissioner of Police, talking about Dr. Fred Latimer Oganesiwe. I would like to read that report and then let's talk a little bit about this issue. The state government has commended the State Commissioner of Police, Aina Deshola, and his operatives for foiling a major drug trafficking plot. Now, that is not even the main issue. Check where. Along the Asaba-Amo Expressway, not just far from here. The command intercepted 1,520 packs of suspected illicit drugs, including tramadol and Synol tablets, which were hidden beneath company machines inside a J5 bus during a strategic operation. The Director General of the Delta State Bureau for Orientation and Communications, Dr. Fred Latimer Oganesiwe, said the arrest of the suspected drug baron Peter Etim Akban, the driver, and the motorboy demonstrates the commitment of the Delta State Police Command to tackling drug trafficking. He expressed concern over the growing incidence of drug abuse and said the state government will intensify collaboration with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency to arrest and prosecute drug traffickers, street dealers, and middlemen. In fact, underline those words: drug traffickers, street dealers, and middlemen. Dr. Oganesiwe reaffirmed the administration's commitment to the drug-free Delta campaign, initiated by Governor Sheriff Oborowori, urging parents and guardians to promote moral discipline among children to reduce crime and social vices. Now, this is just one thing that I have been talking about, drug trafficking. This issue of drug trafficking is killing our youths daily. I feel sometimes I'm walking in this state capital and I see what those guys are doing, and my heart bleeds for these children. I'm wondering, do they even know what they are doing? Do they know what they are getting themselves into? What do you have to say about this issue of drug trafficking in the country, using our state as a reference point?
If you permit me, I want to say maybe let's find out the reason why they take the drugs. Some of them take it because they are depressed and they want to be able to achieve more in very little time. So they feel maybe it will boost their energy. But that notwithstanding, it's like you taking from your future. This body has a way it should run, and then you're using drugs to try and boost yourself. You are eating your life from your future. So I'm appealing, because This youth, that we are the future of tomorrow. So if you destroy yourself with drugs, which tomorrow are we going to have? So please, let's stop it, no matter the reason. And also parents, I think is when the children are growing up, some of them start having, this adolescent age is a very crucial age in the life of a child, where the parents have to pay close attention to them. You have some of them having mood swings, going into depression, they are confused about their life, about what their life will be. At that point in time, it's a time for you to draw them close to yourself, give them counseling, let them know how life is, and then teach them God.
Yeah.
When you teach them God, they know that they have to put the fear of God in them for every decision that they will take. Then you find out that when they are in any form of problem, they will open up to you.
Yeah.
Be their friend. Don't drive your children away, because it's when you drive them away, they'll go out. They meet friends. They meet friends on the streets, and those friends will teach them what to do. So let's draw our children close to ourselves, find out what it is that is aching them, be open to whatever conversation they have to give to you, so that we can help them and curb this issue of drug abuse in young children. The thing is, even if there's no big cannabis or any of those big names, they always find a way to use any of all these pharmaceutical drugs that should cure something else. They take it and then they use it to make themselves high. So please, let parents pay close attention, and then the security agents also, they should pay attention to those key areas where this trafficking is taking place and always apprehend them, so that we can try and reduce this issue, this occurrence, to the barest minimum.
Funny enough, many people are blaming security agents and NDLEA that they actually know some of these flashpoints. That's even the worst. They know some of these flashpoints. Why are they not doing what they need to do to, arrest them? Now, some other persons are saying, okay, when they arrest these people, before you know what's happening, they have been released and they go back to that crime. So a lot of things are involved in this issue of tackling crime. Everyone has to be on their toes. Now, I feel for these children. These are children. You look at them, they don't even care about the future. They don't even care about themselves. They look so haggard.
The thing about drugs is when they want to get it like this, they can sell anything. Even sell their parents. They can sell anything. So it's a pain.
It's a big pain. There's someone that I know. This person beats the mother.
Oh God.
When you say beat somebody to stupor, it's like you are just it's an understatement. Not when he's okay after taking, he just used the mother. He used the mother as the so it's not funny, though we are laughing, but it's not funny. And the problem is that it starts small. That's why I'm advising young people, don't start it at all.
At all.
That is what the problem is. Don't even start.
I think when you say they capture those people that are into it, the dealers and then the users themselves, the consumers, the middlemen, when there's need for proper orientation. You understand? And then find out the root cause why they are taking it. Then they need rehabilitation. You don't just release them. Some of them you are releasing, they are drug abusers, they are drug addicts themselves. So they need to be in the business because they need the money, and then they need to continue taking the drug. So they need some form of rehabilitation, so that the drug can get out of their system. They will no longer be addicts. So there's need for government to pay more attention. Apart from apprehending them, there should be rehabilitation, there should be proper orientation on why these drugs are not good to their system. I don't think there's anybody that you will tell that this thing will kill you and you continue taking it. I don't know. So maybe
you have told them many times that this thing will kill you. They say, you forgot the one.
Smokers are likely to die young, and then you still see them.
They're likely to die young. They don't care. Something was killing them.
Oh no.
So we hear all of those things, but you see, what needs to be done should be done.
Yes.
Everyone have a role to play. You have a role to play. We also have our own role to play. And that's what we're doing.
Yes.
Trying to educate you, sensitize you, make you understand the implication of what you're doing. Anybody that is into drugs, It starts small.
Small.
It starts small. You just say, let me just, and before you know it,
I will soon stop.
Before you know, you become an addict. And then when you don't have money to purchase it, you start selling things, you start doing a lot of things, putting your hands into what you ordinarily would not want.
There was this book, Eunice. My mom bought it for me when I was little. It had this picture of how addiction starts. You have a little, it was a snake.
Wow.
So the person was petting and saying, oh, baby snake, it's still so little. It's just like that's your one glass, half glass of your alcohol or your whatever it is you're taking. And then the snake started growing. Oh, it's growing, baby, it's growing. At the point where the snake became very big, it strangulated the owner.
Okay.
That is just how drug and all those things that you get addicted to, that's what it does to you. You don't pet something that will kill you. So please, youth, let us stop it. No matter what it is, let's stop it, and then let's find better ways to tackle issues that are troubling us. Not drugs, please.
All right, we've said quite a lot, but let's take this short break. When we come back, we'll review our papers, and then we'll be saying goodbye on the show. Please stay tuned. It's Journalist Nest.
In the last 2.5 years, Governor Sheriff has bagged major national recognitions, an affirmation of what many has described as a result-driven administration. In one word, describe Governor Sheriff Oborowori's leadership style.
Result-oriented, people-centered, visionary leader,
compassionate to his people.
it's all-encompassing performance, outstanding gentleman and administrator, the #1 performing governor in the country.
This year, the momentum continues. On the 12th of February 2026, the Delta State Governor yet again stepped into national spotlight, receiving the prestigious Leadership Award for Governor of the Year. And barely 24 hours later, we're at the commercial capital of the nation, where the very scholarly editors of New Telegraph have been critically analyzed the impact of the Oborowori administration has conferred on him overall Governor of the Year.
My message to the people of Delta is that they should continue to give us that support that they have been giving us.
There you have it. Governor Sheriff is working in oil-rich South Delta State, but the positive sound effect of his policies reverberate not only in the South, but in the East, in the West, and far North. Until next time, I remain Kokome Oko. Bye.
Like I dey tell you, very soon electricity for Delta State it go be one of the best for Nigeria.
Obukobo, you abeg stop. You don start.
Calm down. You get wetin I don tell you before when I
you don tell me now. Say this year 2026 they go complete the DSA roundabout flyover for every. No dey watch whether e go happen now.
Sure, why not go happen? This year just a start now. The construction of the DSA roundabout flyover for every is already 98% complete.
You sure?
Yes. Governor Sheriff dey drive to modernize urban infrastructure so that e go ease traffic congestion across key metropolitan.
You mean metropolitan corridor?
Yes. You know say me and English na like this.
Well, I no go like Governor Sheriff dey do well because I know of some communities where they say their expectations, I mean their dreams, has become a reality. You will talk something about electricity.
Our governor, Right Honorable Sheriff, he don dey set to add 120 megawatts to the national grid.
Oh boy, this one go boost Delta State energy capacity.
Delta State Health Insurance Scheme expanded between 2023 to 2025, becoming Nigeria's largest state health insurance scheme. While Oborowori no go clinch double honors as Governor of the Year 2025.
Governor Oborowori don remember Kokori Sweet Crude with 12 billion naira road rehabilitation.
I know, na 35.32 kilometer road for Ethiopia East local government area.
150 primary healthcare centers under renovation and upgrade across the state.
This road intervention where Governor Sheriff they do so. Now practical demonstration of the Governor Sheriff opportunities for all where they more agenda.
Particularly communities where those suffer neglect for years.
Sheriff they work with the CM Marine Matter.
Brought to you by Delta State Ministry of Information.
As a host community, try as much as possible to guide your utterances. No company can be intimidated. The companies are also urged to keep to their social responsibility, the corporate social responsibility. I always say it, keep to it. If you keep to the corporate social responsibility, no host community will hold you ransom.
Alright, thank you so much for staying tuned. It's Journalist Next, and I'm Eunice Meazia. Of course, my co-host is right here, Esther Oputa. Right now, we are going to talk about what's happening in the papers. So, straight to you, what's going on? Talk to us.
Okay, there's this headline from Punch, and it says, counter-terrorism, U.S. military support, not abnormal, says the HQ. So I think it has to do with the support from the U.S. in fighting crime and terrorism in areas, mostly the northern areas of the country. The defense headquarters saying their support is not abnormal, so it's a welcome development because it's going to help curb and fight the menace of terrorism and kidnapping in those regions.
Okay, so is that all from the Punch that you
From the Punch, yes.
Okay, so from Vanguard, actually, bomb terrorist harder. Nigerians call for more U.S. strikes. This headline is very funny. They should bomb them harder. So Nigerians are calling on the U.S. Come now. You said you are coming to come and help us. Let's see more of the bomb now. You know that one that President Donald Trump did. They gave Donald Trump a lot of titles. They said Ojibom Azoku. You know what I mean? Oh my God! What that means is that the one who answers with bomb.
Yes.
Ojibom Azoku. That was
exactly.
So a lot of expectations. In fact, when they were saying more US people are coming, they were like, wow, let them come, let them come. Now people are not hearing anything, so they are like, bomb them harder now. What are you doing, US? All right. So this one, Bishop Onayekan to President Tinubu. We can't continue like this. Okay, we can't continue like this. A lot of issues on ground. U.S. begins major combat to destroy Iran missiles and navy. Wow, major combat.
Still on insecurity, we have from the Daily Post, we have insecurity, intelligence failure, biggest risk in area strikes on Sambisa, Other Forest. That's according to Bakoji. And also we have organ harvesting, concerns mount as child traffickers turn Plateau into epicenter.
That's from Daily Post, right?
Yes.
And then from The Nation, we have vanishing Imo community where homes are sinking. That's true.
I think that's to do with the erosion or so.
Yeah. PDP factions bicker as Oyo Court validates Ibadan Convention. We also have the issue of terrorists. Terrorist kingpin behind mass abduction of worshippers in Kogi's Ekwa Church arrested. That is the kingpin in that abduction has been arrested. That's good news.
That's a good news.
That's good news. Alleged 8.7 billion naira fraud. Court remands ex-AGF Malami, son and wife in prison. Wow.
Then from The Guardian, we have state lease. Senate to accelerate constitution amendment as Tinubu pushes reform. That issue of state lease is something that will help.
So a lot of stories are actually making the headlines today. We are seeing one here. It says that Delta governor urges leaders to prioritize service at Senator Walbush's funeral. prioritize service. If you are a politician, prioritize service. I mean, I said that earlier when I was beginning the program. Those with the elections are already gaining momentum. All the activities build up to the election, you know, a lot of activities right now. But it's not just about you coming out to say, I want to lead, I want to rule, it's my turn. They'll be telling me to wait for my turn, now it's my turn, I want to go. But what are you bringing to the table? What do you have in mind to help the citizens that you are coming to lead? So that's what I think the governor is saying.
A good leader is a good servant.
Exactly. So prioritize service. That's what the governor is saying. Also, we have one, building the future inside Oborowori's expanding vision for education. That's in the Guardian newspaper. Insecurity, intelligence failure, biggest risk in area strikes on Sambisa and other forests. Bakoji, that's a headline in Daily Post.
Okay.
And then we also have this issue of organ harvesting. I think you mentioned that.
Yes.
The child concerns mount as child traffickers turn Plateau into epicenter. You know that this issue of child trafficking, people are still thinking that the thing has reduced. It hasn't. A lot of issues are going on. I see a lot of missing persons reports that they bring to the station. You know, what does it tell you? It means that these people are not sleeping.
Be on
so
guard.
Parents, guardians, be on your watch.
Yes.
In fact, be on alert, because the children that are kept under your care, they are very precious. These are leaders of tomorrow. These are our future. You should help them, because children are children. Sometimes you tell them, sit down here, before you know it, they've moved because they want to play, they want to, you know, that's their age. So you don't have to leave them carelessly. You have to be extra vigilant, because people are looking for children.
Security is everybody's business.
It is. It is. So please take care of the children that are under your care. Even as the security agents are doing their bit, you that's a mother, you that's a caregiver, please don't relax.
The police will always tell you they will not be the ones to come to your house to lock your door. So you have your part to play. You have your own role to play.
Exactly.
We didn't talk about this one from Punch. He said, on your marks, set, go. Parties race against May deadline for primaries. So you see all the parties in Nigeria, everybody's doing their own primaries now. So trying to get their candidates for the coming elections.
We also have the one, Oyo police arrests 2 illegal trans-border ammunition traffickers. Oyo police arrests 2 illegal trans-border ammunition traffickers. That means they've already left their border and they were coming in. So the Oyo police, I want to say kudos.
Yes.
They've done well.
Yes.
All these illegal trans-border ammunition traffickers, they are the ones supplying all of these things that we are seeing everywhere. They go from border to border, supply, and then they go, and then the people keep killing themselves. So thank you so much, Oyo Police. You're doing great, and all of the security officials who are putting in their best to curb insecurity. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Even if you think that the people do not understand your role, we do. We know it's not easy.
It's not easy.
Thank you so
much.
much.
They're putting themselves on the line to ensure the safety of the country.
All right, talking about the papers, we can go on and on, but you see, we have to go. Our time is telling us to get ready to move. So just before you go, I know there's something that you want to tell people out there. What's your word? What's your message to people out there?
Just be safe and let love lead every of your actions.
Yeah, be safe. Let love lead every of your actions. That's actually a very beautiful one. Well, for me, all I'm telling you today is that it's a long way to go. Elections are around the corner. You know, a lot of things goes with election. If you are coming out to lead, I'm reiterating that. If you don't have anything to offer, stay inside your house and lock the door. Don't come out and say you want to lead us, and then at the end of the day you have nothing to offer. Please. The people, the masses, they are going through a lot. Ensure you have a blueprint and you are ready to implement, execute those things that you have outlined that you're going to do for the people. More so to our citizens, don't be carried away when they come to campaign to you, when they bring their bags of rice and salt and they are 1,000. All of those chicken change to buy your conscience. Well, somebody was saying you can collect all of those things and still vote your conscience. Well, whichever suits you, go ahead. But don't allow whatever they give to you to influence your vote. Vote your conscience. Be sure that the people that you are saying yes to are the people who can bring the needed change that we need in our country. And also, I'll say, please continue to pray. Pray for our nation. Pray for our leaders that they will continue to take the right steps and make the right decisions. It has been Journalist Nest. I am Eunice Emeazia, and Esther Oputa also have been talking to us, and I'm so happy that she came in here, and it's been a wonderful time. I hope you had a wonderful time. Next week is yet another time. Bye for now.
Roll me, baby. She said she knows me, I'm Mr. AJ. I told her I can be a bobo. She said she wants to be my baby. I'm like, okay, if that's what you want, say. Make it, girl, tell me, ain't broke me. Depends how I'm feeling at the time of the day.
Said she want roll, remember. She don't come for the stand, She gaslight, she knows what's bedtime. You be cartel like Zella. Me and AJ locked in as brother. Any instrumental is mental.
The Modern Technical College Omadino, as we are commissioning today, will present a flagship investment in technical education by this administration.
How far will you want to go? We enter, no shape in my power, I special. Take you where you never been before. Asambulu waye, I'm precise, Suwachi. You tell her what's in her every day. We know the tire, we be like a bandit.
She said she knows me.
last 2.5 years, Governor Sheriff has bagged major national recognitions, an affirmation of what many has described as a result-driven administration. In one word, describe Governor Sheriff Oborowori's leadership style.
Result-oriented, people-centered, visionary leader,
compassionate to his people.
It's all encompassing performance. Outstanding gentleman and administrator, the #1 performing governor in the country.
This year, the momentum continues. On the 12th of February 2026, the Delta State Governor yet again stepped into national spotlight, receiving the prestigious Leadership Award for Governor of the Year. And barely 24 hours later, we're at the commercial capital of the nation, where the very scholarly editors of New Telegraph have been critically analyzed the impact of the Oborowori administration has conferred on him overall Governor of the Year.
My message to the people of Delta is that they should continue to give us that support that they have been giving us.
There you have it. Governor Sheriff is working in oil-rich South Delta State, but the positive sound effect of his policies reverberate not only in the South, but in the East, in the West, and far North. Until next time, I remain Kokome Oko. Bye.
to Rise and Thrive. It's a beautiful morning. I'm Great Fidelis Edoniabo. Our topic today says, make learning deliberate. Make learning deliberate. You know, a wise man once said that the day you stop learning, that very day you start dying. A story was told of a young farmer of many years ago who, in a bid to grow bamboo, went into the bamboo farming, and then he kept, watering the plant, and he noticed that nothing was happening. There was no sign of germination or growth, and he was almost frustrated, and this led him to take a step to meet someone who has been experienced in farming. And he asked the question. He said, I've planted bamboo for about 1 year now. I've been doing all the weeding and watering, and I've not seen any sign of growth. And then this elderly experienced farmer smiled at the young man and said, you will have to go back and keep doing the weeding and the watering and the tending. And the young man asked him why, since I'm not seeing any sign of growth. He said that is how the process is when bamboo is growing. He said, go, keep doing it, keep watering it, keep weeding it, and give it some time. My name is Great Fidelis Edoniabo. Thanks for joining me on Rise and Thrive today. See you again.
Like I dey tell you, very soon electricity for Delta State it go be one of the best for Nigeria.
Stop, you don't start.
Calm down, you get wetin I don tell you before when
you don tell me now. Say this year 2026 they go complete the DSA roundabout flyover for Efuri. No dey watch whether e go happen now.
Sure, why e no go happen? This year just dey start now. The construction of the DSA roundabout flyover for Efuri is already 98% complete.
You sure?
Yes. Governor Sheriff dey drive to modernize urban infrastructure so that e go ease traffic congestion across key metropolitan.
You mean metropolitan corridor?
Yes. You know, say me and English na like this.
Well, I no go like Governor Sheriff dey do well, because I know of some communities where they say their expectations, their dreams has become a reality. You will talk something about electricity.
Our governor, Right Honorable Sheriff, he don dey set to add 120 megawatts to the national grid.
Oh boy, this one go boost Delta State energy capacity.
Delta State Health Insurance Scheme expanded between 2023 to 2025, becoming Nigeria's largest state health insurance scheme. While Borewori no go clinch double honors as Governor of the Year 2025.
Governor Borewori don remember Kokori Sweet Crude with 12 billion naira road rehabilitation.
I know, na 35.32 kilometer road for Ethiope East local government area.
150 primary healthcare centers under renovation and upgrade across the state.
This road intervention wey Governor Sheriff dey do so na practical demonstration of the Governor Sheriff opportunities for all wey dey more agenda.
Particularly communities wey don suffer neglect for years.
Governor Sheriff dey work with the CM Mari Matter.
Brought to you by Delta State Ministry of Information.
Good morning. Here is the news at 10 on Delta Television, The People's Pride. I am Chizi Awuno. Wife of President Senator Oluremi Tinubu has accorded a grand civic reception by her ancestral home, the Shekiri Nation. The colorful event took place at the palace of the Olu of Warri, or Giame Atuwase III in Warri. The report is presented to you from our studios.
Speaking at the ceremony, Senator Tinubu expressed appreciation to the Shekiri Nation for the warm honor bestowed on her and called on the people to continue to maintain peaceful coexistence with other ethnic nationalities. She stressed that unity remains the bedrock for sustainable growth and development in the Niger Delta region. The First Lady commended the Olu of Warri for conferring on her one of the kingdom's most revered chieftaincy titles and pledged to continue championing developmental initiatives in Warri and Delta State at large. She also assured Nigerians that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu remains steadfast in delivering all-round development across the country under the Renewed Hope agenda.
It is high time I came to Warri Kingdom, at least to come and show my gratitude for the support and also to pay my homage to the land. I am glad of the stock I came from and proud of this culture, and above all, proud of the way you have clothed me today.
In his remarks, Delta State Governor Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori congratulated the president's wife for being a worthy ambassador of the state and assured her of the continued support of Deltas in advancing the Renewed Hope agenda of the federal government. Governor Oborewori highlighted key projects executed by his administration in Warri and East Environ, including the over 20 kilometers Trans-Ode Shekiri Warri Road with 15 bridges, ongoing flyover projects, and other critical infrastructure. He urged Senator Tinubu not to relent in leveraging her pet project to alleviate poverty among the economically disadvantaged and other vulnerable groups in the society.
Let me conclude my remarks by calling on all Deltans living outside the state to emulate Her Excellency example of sacrifice, selflessness, and tenacity of purpose. Nigeria will be a much better place for all of us when service and meeting the needs of others become the focus of those positions of authority. Let us be our brothers' keepers as we strive to build a nation where people are free to dream and pursue their visions of success and fulfillment.
Earlier in his address, the Olu of Warri, Giame Atuwase III, said the conferment of the prestigious chieftaincy title was in recognition of Senator Tinubu's exemplary leadership, humility, and love for her roots. He assured her of the unflinching support of the Shekiri people for her and her husband. The monarch further reminded his subjects of the need to uphold peaceful coexistence wherever they reside, emphasizing that no meaningful development could take place in an atmosphere of rancor and acrimony.
We choose to be ready and to do away with old hurts and wounds and give peace a chance based on truth and equity. There is absolutely nothing that we cannot achieve. When the Niger Delta, your mother's people, are united with the Yoruba, your father's people, and the rest of the South follows suit, and even other parts will follow suit.
The president's wife was earlier received at the Warri Airport in Osubi before proceeding to the palace for the civic reception. Ejime Uduime reporting.
Governor Sheriff Oborewori has received an International Sustainable Leadership Action Award for excellence in governance, justice, peace, and development. The award was presented by the Center of Convention on Democratic Integrity as a follow-up to his nomination for the United Nations Service Award. Deputy Governor Sir Monday Onyeme received the award on behalf of the governor at the Government House, Asaba. Pere Botu completes this report.
Presenting the award, President Center for Convention on Democratic Integrity, Comrade Olufemi Aduo, said the body is a non-profit organization focused on promoting sustainable development, democratic process, peace and security, with emphasis on citizens' involvement in governance, organizing advocacy to address global challenges. He said Governor Sheriff Oborowori was selected for the award after the rigorous process of verification and assessment carried out by international experts in governance with focus on reforms, transformation, and institutional accountability. Comrade Adu said the nomination of Governor Sheriff Oborowori demonstrated the governor's efforts to strengthen public institutions, enhance citizen security, deepen community-centered conflict resolution mechanism, and widened access to justice and peace across the state. According to him, the governor's record satisfied goals number 16 of the Sustainable Development Goals and the high standards of integrity, innovation, transparency, and societal impact required of the United Nations Service Award.
Apart from the submission we made, that yes, but it was the same UN that make us that look, Delta State have done something in the area SDGs 16, have to do with justice, have to do with institution building. That is the area they anchor. Now, the United Nations Public Service Award is an award anybody can access. Government official can access it, but the process is so cumbersome.
Receiving the award on behalf of the governor, the State Deputy Governor, Sir Monday Oyeme, thanked the Center for Convention on Democratic Integrity for honoring the governor with the Distinguished Leadership Action Award. Governor Oborowori affirmed that his administration was anchored on due process, accountability, and the unwavering belief that peace and justice were the bedrocks of true development, as without them, progress was nothing more than a mirage. The governor said the recognition of his administration's commitment to Sustainable Development Goals number 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions had been reaffirmed that progress cannot endure without strong institutions, the rule of law, and equity that sustains peace.
To be recognized by an institution so firmly committed to advancing democratic value and safeguarding integrity is not just a personal honor. It is a validation of the path we have chosen in governance. A path anchored in due process, accountability, and the unwavering belief that peace and justice are the bedrock of true development. Without them, progress is nothing more than a mirage.
In an interview, Commissioners for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information, Mr. Charles Aniagu, Finance, Okemo Fidelis Tilije, and Professor Oluyemisi Akinyemi attributed the award to the governor's exemplary leadership and governance of the state.
This particular award coming from an agency that has relationship with the United Nations is something that we do not take for granted. Not only because of the caliber of individuals who are members of this particular organization, but because of the key areas they have identified. When you talked about building institutions and then all issues of security, and that speaks to proactive governance. And so when you have a Center for Convention for Democratic Institutions having to recognize you among the many states, you know that it's not one of those awards that fly up and down on account of maybe an individual having to extend one or two things. On their own, they went about taking a look at the projects, procedures, policies, and programs of the Oborowori-led administration, and they could identify a whole number of improvements in key sectors.
We can confirm that since 2023 till now, the More agenda has been able to transform Delta State to another level of administration in governance in Nigeria. We are so happy. All these awards that are now being bestowed on His Excellency are not by chance. They are proven records of achievement by his administration.
it is not just a local award. It's not just from us. It is international with the counterpart in US and the United Nations. And it is a follow-up that we expect from this award.
They said the governor had built strong institutions that had enhanced the growth and development of the state without borrowing funds to implement projects. I am Pere Botu reporting.
The state government has commended the State Commissioner of Police, Aina Adeshola, and his operatives for foiling the major truck trafficking plug along the Asaba-Abo Expressway. The command intercepted 1,520 packs of suspected illicit drugs, including tramadol and Swifnone tablets, which were hidden beneath company machines inside a J5 bus during a strategic operation. The Director General of the Delta State Bureau for Orientation and Communications, Dr. Fred Latimogenesire, said the arrest of the suspected drug baron Peter Etim Akpan, the driver and the motorboy, demonstrates the commitment of the Delta State Police Command to tackling drug trafficking. He expressed concern over the growing incidence of drug abuse and said the state government will intensify collaboration with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency to arrest and prosecute drug traffickers, street dealers, and middlemen. Dr. Ogenesivia reaffirmed the administration's commitment to the drug-free Delta campaign initiated by Governor Sheriff Oborowori, urging parents and guardians to promote moral discipline among children to reduce crime and social vices. The federal government says it is seeking technological and investment partnership from Canada to fast-track reforms in Nigeria's solid minerals sector. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, says the move is aimed at unlocking the economic potential of mining in Nigeria. Alake made this known while receiving the Canadian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Masquin Savagio, in Abuja. He said stronger bilateral cooperation with Canada would attract investment, promote global best practices, and support sustainable growth in the mining industry. The minister said the government is creating an investor-friendly mining development through technology transfer, capacity building, and fiscal incentives. This includes tax waivers on imported mining equipment and the guarantee of profit repatriation after statutory obligation. Savagio described Nigeria as a strategic partner for Canada and said cooperation would expand trade relations, especially in mining. He also mentioned capacity building programs, including training opportunities for Nigerian mining professionals at the University of Calgary. Both countries agreed to set up a joint working group to strengthen collaboration in the sector. The National Universities Commission has introduced new guidelines to regulate the award and use of honorary doctorate degrees in Nigeria following concerns over conferment within the university system. The Commission in a statement says the move was aimed at protecting academic standards and preserving the global reputation of Nigerian universities. It explained that investigations showed widespread irregularities with 61 institutions and professional bodies examined and 32 identified as operating as honorary degree mills, which includes unaccredited foreign universities, unlicensed local institutions, and associations within legal authority to award degrees. Under the new rules, only approved universities that have graduated at least one set of PhD students can confer honorary doctorate with a maximum of 3 awards per convocation. The Commission also clarified that honorary degrees were symbolic recognitions and not earned academic qualifications, adding that recipients were not permitted to use the title doctor or practice as scholars or professionals based on the awards. The National Identity Management Commission has reiterated that candidates writing the 2026 Senior School Certificate Examination must have a national identification number. The Commission issued the final advisory to parents and guardians ahead of the examination registration exercise. The Commission said NIN has become a compulsory requirement, describing it as a critical academic tool for school registration, examinations, scholarships, and other government services. To ease registration, the Commission said it has decentralized enrollment through its ward enrollment strategy, bringing registration centers closer to communities to help students enroll before the deadline. Parents are advised to locate the nearest enrollment center through the Commission's website or toll-free lines. The initiative is part of the Assured Identity mandate to provide every Nigerian child with a unique digital identity. The Commission also said the enrollment is free at all official centers and warned the public against patronizing unauthorized agents, adding that candidates without NIN will not be allowed to sit for the 2026 SSCE. And that's the size of our news bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. I am Chizi Awuno. Good morning.
Are you from Lagos?
I'm not from Lagos. Well, I've been living in Lagos for like 5 years now.
Were you doing music before you came here?
Yeah, but not professionally.
Is that why you came here, for music?
Yeah, because in Nigeria, Lagos is like the market. Once you're big in Lagos, you can be big in every other part of the country. But once you're big in other parts of the country, you have to struggle and still come to Lagos and start from the bottom.
From the bottom.
Yeah.
The heartbeat of Lagos can be felt throughout the country and throughout the continent. One of the fastest growing cities in the world. Its pulse invites those who are hungry for more.
For both of you, I want to know, what is your version of success? A few years from now, what would success look like to you and here in Lagos?
Okay, to me, success is not all about money. Success to me is all about getting